Hi guys, shifting technology. See, even those of us that are used to it, it never quite is perfect, right? I don't like that angle, that's too low. I'm looking down on you, that's not fun. I need to get my other little camera stand in here. If you're here, say hi so I know you can hear me and can see me. Oh, I can bring people on camera now. That's interesting. I want to do that. Let me see. Megan, if you're watching, say something. See if I can bring you on. Guest requests. Very cool. Always new stuff. Let me see if I can tag Megan in here. And then maybe she can join me. We were going to do like a dual, what do you call it? Not a dual stream, but I was going to have her up here to talk about the topic today. Unfortunately, my software isn't working very well, so. Okay, so Megan, I'm supposed to be able to bring you on here. Oh, here we go. Bring Megan on camera. Let's see. Let's see if this works. I think this is new. You weren't able to do this previously in groups. So Megan, I believe it's requesting to add you in your Facebook. Oh, here we go. There you are. Welcome.
Hello, awesome. I know. Give me a second to set my tripod or my camera back into my tripod.
No problem. Good though.
Yes.
Awesome.
I was like, I think there's a way to do it, but I haven't done it, so I don't know.
Oh, this is been used to it. You can only do it on your personal profile or like page, but this basically solves our problem because we're using a third-party tool that ended up not working very well. Probably because I need to update it.
That's how it goes.
Anyways, as you get that set up, I'm gonna kind of dive in because we've been messing around here. So first of all, first of all, my name is Ines McNeil. If you're new to the group, welcome. Good to have you, and I think that you're going to get a lot of value out of being here. I've worked a lot to put a lot of this stuff together, and it's a really, really great community. And if you have not checked out the website, there's tons of really, really helpful information on there as far as how to set up your dog business and all that jazz. It's themoderndogtrainer.net. And today specifically, we're talking about, the belief or the cycle that we get into thinking that every project is equally as important as every other project that we've taken on, right? Checking up on comments. And if you can hear us, definitely say hi and let us know where you're watching. I'm in New York State. Megan is based out of Colorado. It's really fun to be able to do this kind of stuff online now. Together, but separate. So today we're talking about, priorities, the assumption that every project is as important because, you make commitments to people and you don't want to let those commitments fall apart or be seen as somebody that's like flaky or anything like that. But I will say, I think my first point is really that there is a clear hierarchy, if you will, of the projects that you need to be working on and focusing on. And one of those is money-making tasks that you need to do to earn money and pay the bills, because everybody's got bills. I guess, not everybody, but most people.
There's a lucky few, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so, you really want to make sure you are taking your business as seriously as any other CEO of a different company would be taking their business, right? I think we get into dog training to have fun. We love what we do. We love our, our dog clients. Sometimes we love our human. And it's really easy to just focus on the fun and the dog training curriculum and the actual dog training part of the business when you really also need focusing almost more so on how are you going to be making money? How are you going to be paying the bills? Because that is supporting your, ability to continue ultimately. So Megan, I want you to hop on here today to kind of share your thoughts along with this too. I want to get to know you a little bit more as well. If you're watching and you've watched some of my lives before, Megan's going to be joining over the next few of them this month. And she's kind of coming on as like another coach, she's not me. She's not one of, she's an extension of me, I guess, at this point, because she's got lots of experience and lots, a really great skill set. So maybe start off by doing a little bit in an introduction of you and dive into, what should be for owners.
Absolutely. So my name is Megan. As Ines says, I'm coming to you from Colorado. And my dog training business is called Dogs Deciphered, and I've been doing that for about 7 years now. And so, do behavior mod and nose work classes and all kinds of fun things. And so, knowing that we're going to be talking about kind of prioritizing today, it's been thinking about my thoughts on the whole thing. And absolutely, I think you're right that you do have to focus on where you're going to be able to actually make that money, bring that money in and pay those bills. And also looking at sometimes long-term value, things that will benefit you, over the long term, developing professional relationships, education, those sorts of things I think are also important to prioritize and I think you really bring this to your clients a lot, is talking about how to prioritize time for yourself and for, professional development and all that sort of thing, so that you're, I like to say work smart, not hard. It's not that working hard is a bad thing. Of course, there are times you just have to grind and put in the hard work, but I think it's important to look at what makes you the most well-rounded business owner. So some of that continuing education, it does need to be put toward improving your business, not just improving your skill sets as a trainer, but over time improving. And, I really like to focus on things like habit change in people, right? That's just as important to study and for us to be looking into as how to train, various skills in dog training. So I think some of that professional development is important to prioritize as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, as you get busy as a business owner, you kind of like forget about that stuff. Because you start to kind of get accustomed to just like you figured out your stuff, things are working well, kind of just get comfortable, I guess. And it's important to keep those skills sharp. I think that COVID unfortunately has highlighted that. Those that were on top of it were able to quickly, flexible and adjust and navigate the waters really well. And then others were not able to be as flexible. And that's just, depending on, I don't know, all kinds of variables, but that's definitely highlighted that situation. And so continuing education is really important, and not just, I know dog trainers love their seminars. I do too. I go to seminars. But those are not going to help you with your long term. They're going to help you become a better provider, like service provider, but they're not going to help you grow your business or give you, basically a return on investment, right? Unless you start teaching immediately, it's not really going to teach you how to scale your business or get more clients or grow your income like that. So there's different kinds of continuing education that you want to look at, especially when it comes to that. I think the other thing when it comes to like priorities and navigating projects, I think as you develop and get a reputation of being great at what you do, you get a lot of people that come to you with projects and, you want to volunteer for this and that. I've been through it myself, and, it's exciting at first, and then you realize the workload that comes along with it. And it's not just like quote unquote physical workload of doing the work. It's the mental capacity that it takes up as well. It's huge. And since I had a baby, like it's been like ruthless prioritization, because it's everything that like takes time away from her has to be totally worth it, right? Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Most definitely exciting and energizing thing to do. Otherwise, like it's not for me, So that's what it comes down to. And I know that a lot of people, unfortunately, like it took me, having a kid to do it, but I really don't think that's a necessity. And I don't wish everybody to have to realize that. So I don't know. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to be able to say no to things that aren't really forwarding your specific mission. Because like you said, people just look at you as the dog expert that they know, which is of course a great place to be. You want to get to the point where people know you for your expertise. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you have time to dedicate to every project that people suggest to you, or everything that comes your way. And I think you really have to get focused on what's the most important for you. What is your mission? And not try to just spread yourself too thin. That was another thing I was going to say about continuing education is, it's great to attend seminars, but if you come back with the idea that you're going to offer, 5 different new classes, you're probably going to spread yourself thin enough that you're not actually going to be providing the service that you want to. Just because you're excited about that kind of training doesn't necessarily mean it's going to add value to your clientele. So I think it's important to stay focused on what it is that you're trying to provide, and keeping your priorities focused on around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you almost, especially as dog trainers, like you differentiate even between the dog training continuing education you have, between stuff that is going to do what you said, like add value to the current clients that you're working with and attracting to your, and then also, we always want to go and check out other kinds of dog training. So, I've gone to like IPO seminars and nosework seminars and like, what else, like all kinds of fun stuff that I don't personally like, I'm not involved with, and I don't teach or didn't teach with clients. So it almost you almost need to differentiate between what is really directly adding value to clients versus what's just for fun. Yes. Like just fun time. And that's what you do. Like that's why you should absolutely have fun, but just like realize that it's not investment into your business, I think is here. Not to say that like I absolutely did go home with new, mechanical skills that I applied to like my reactive dog clients, because there's reactive. And so it's like, well, how do you handle the situation? But that's not what I want in there.
But that doesn't mean you're going to become an IPO trainer just because you went. Yeah, exactly. No. So I think it is, like you said, there's things that can add value to your skills, but you just want to make sure you're not spreading yourself so thin that you're not actually giving, your all to the clients you are working with.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reality is you can't teach everything to everyone.
Yeah. And that's why one of my priorities is professional development and getting to know other trainers and people that I can refer people to, and feeling comfortable with the other trainers in my area. I think that's something that's worth spending time doing and prioritizing, because it is important that we can, help people by sending them to the right people, not necessarily doing it all ourselves.
Yes. And I'm so glad you bring that up, because that's something I always did as well. I actually started groups. Whatever city I was in, I gathered the trainers that were similar to me, and we did like networking groups. We would meet once a quarter and get together and hang out and have dinner and drinks and all that. So that was a lot of fun, and it helped kind of build that community locally. It helped get people get to know each other and get to know their specialties. And that's, it's always fun to discuss certain cases.
Yeah, you get to do a little shop talk. We don't work in an office with other people that we can, banter about what's going on in our daily work lives. And I think it's great to get together with other trainers and be able to just kind of, share those funny stories. And absolutely.
And that's an example of like, that is something that not only is fun to do, but it's actually a reasonably responsible thing to do as a business owner. It only generates more awareness about your business. It's going to potentially generate referrals. Like, it's not just, yeah, it's fun, but it's not just
Yeah.
fun, right? There's ulterior motive,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what else did I want to talk about on this? So, really ruthlessly prioritizing what is going to generate new business for your business, rather than just, doing things for fun or because you think you should do them. You really want to focus on, money-making tasks. That is marketing and sales, basically, right? Everything else can be done later. Like all that, knowing when to productively procrastinate. And that can kind of be used in two different ways. I was talking to somebody on the phone last week. She was talking about how she had just purchased a bunch of e-courses because, COVID has kind of slowed things down. She had time. And so she was productively procrastinating in a different way, in that she was taking courses that were not helping her get to her goals, but they made her feel productive because she was working on things. So I don't know if you have any suggestions for, like, how do you determine, like, what is productive, important for your business versus, fun and maybe seems productive, but really isn't necessary.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to evaluating the value of what you are actually doing. So can you answer the question, how will this bring me income? I mean, if you can't answer that question, then I think it falls into, a little bit more of the fun category. And I think sometimes there can be a little bit of both. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything that you get from that particular information is going to, not be useful to bring value to your business, like we were talking about. But I think you need to be able to actually pinpoint how this will bring you income. And if you can't answer that, then it's probably shouldn't be at the top of your priority list. It doesn't mean that it can't be a priority, but it's not a priority for bringing income to your business.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really smart thing to do, is just ask, how is that going to generate income for their business, and that pretty clear pretty quickly. And yeah, like, and there's people that, like, they use social media, and there's people that use social media to generate business. And so I think that question can be answered in many different ways. And so ask that question, because people, I think it'll help clarify things, and whether or not you have a strategy behind what you're doing and spending time on. Right. Awesome. Good. Well, I don't know, do you have any other suggestions for people that tend to take on too many projects, volunteer or otherwise?
One of the things I was going to say about communicating to people, because that's kind of my specialty, communicating to people when you are saying no, because that does, we don't want to feel bad, we don't want to let people down, those sorts of things, is to, I think, really be yourself and be authentic about why you are saying no. That you don't have to make up excuses, you don't have to, just act like, you've got so much else. It's okay to just say, that isn't really something that follows with my mission. And if you know someone else who might be interested in what they're looking for, again, providing those professional referrals and having other people to talk with. But I don't think we have to, try to make it about excuses or saying, sorry, I just don't have time for that, because I do think that becomes kind of a, we say we don't have time, but you make time for what's important to you. And so if you're just saying, oh, I'm so busy that I couldn't possibly do that, well, one, you need to evaluate if you are actually so busy that you couldn't fit one more thing in, then you probably need to fit some time in for yourself. But also just, I think, really, like I said, getting focused on what your mission is and being able to tell people that, because I think then when they, if they actually do have something that fits in with your business model, then that's what they can present to you and say, yeah, that's, this is actually something that will help me with my mission. So I think that's something that's important, is to just be true to yourself and not be afraid to tell people that the reason that you're not going to help them with whatever project or whatever it is you're asking of them.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's something I've struggled with too, is like, what do you say?
Yeah.
You don't turn somebody down and disappoint them. I, just like everybody, don't like disappointing anybody. I want to make everybody happy. But what do you say is appropriate, truthful, and all of that? So I think that was a really great way to phrase it. I'll probably use it.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, I think this was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
And excited to have you back next week. And on our little Money Making in May series, next week we're going to talk about whether or not you have to hire people in order to grow your business. And I think that's really, really exciting topic.
It is. I'm excited.
Next week, probably, I like Tuesdays. I don't know about Mondays. So I think we might talk about keeping it on Tuesdays. I don't know about you, but we'll talk about it.
Awesome. Right. Great to chat.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.